You're tuned in to Pyrocryptic X News, daily crypto coverage on the networks that matter. XRP, XLM, XDC, and many others. Let's get into it.
Crypto Flash. We're seeing Jay Clayton heading to the SDNY thanks to a Trump power play.
That's the headline buzzing today, April 23rd, 2025.
So is this a real shift coming for crypto regulation, or maybe just, a familiar face in a potentially more powerful spot?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Forget the quick takes online. This is Pyrocryptic News, and we're here to break down what this actually means for your crypto strategy.
We really need to look beyond the surface here.
Okay, so let's get into it. Jay Clayton, appointed U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. What's the immediate reaction?
Well, the first thing that jumps out is how it happened. Reports say President Trump used a procedural move.
Meaning no Senate confirmation.
Exactly, bypassed the usual process, which, immediately makes you wonder about the strategy behind it, maybe how long Clayton will even be in that seat. Is it temporary? Is it strategic?
It does create a bit of a head scratcher, doesn't it? Because on one hand, you have President Trump talking about, easing up on crypto.
Yeah, suggesting maybe fewer enforcement actions, a generally friendlier vibe.
Right. But then he appoints the guy who, as SEC chair, went after Ripple. That was arguably the biggest enforcement action we've seen.
It's a definite contradiction, or at least it looks like one on the surface. And it really highlights this complex dance between crypto and politics that's intensifying.
So the industry is influential enough now that someone like Clayton gets this kind of role.
It certainly seems to suggest that. The sector's political weight is growing, no doubt.
But it raises a big question for everyone involved in crypto, right? Can you actually rely on people who were, not that long ago, seen as, antagonists?
That's the core tension. And you have to remember, Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, he was very, very critical of Clayton.
Especially about the timing of that lawsuit, just as Clayton was leaving the SEC. Exactly.
That history is, let's say, baggage. It adds a whole other layer here.
Does it? Or could you maybe argue the opposite? That his SEC's experience gives him a unique perspective now.
Well, that's the counter-argument, isn't it? Maybe his deep understanding of the SEC's playbook means he'd approach things differently from the SDNY prosecutor's chair.
And he has criticized Gary Gensler's approach since leaving the SEC, hasn't he?
He has, which might suggest his own thinking on crypto regulation has perhaps evolved, or at least he sees issues with the current approach.
So if you're holding digital assets, trying to figure this out, what's the practical takeaway? The person behind a major crypto lawsuit now has significant enforcement power in a key district.
And even though the